9 and welcome to my back garden. Now first of all, apologise for the mess. I've been doing a lot of gardening during lockdown, hence why you can see all the bits of timber and topsoil about, okay? Right, what you need for this is either you can use some step ladders if you've got them. If you don't, use your stairs, so you can just do it just as well on your indoor stairs. If you don't have any stairs because you live in a flat or a bungalow, then just anything that you can stand up on top of that's safe to do so, just like a fox. Okay. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to try and calculate our own gravitational potential energy. So in the last couple of lessons you've been looking at energy stores, so the different stores of energy, and also looking at how we calculate our kinetic energy and our gravitational potential energy. So we want to put that into practice today. Okay, so what you need to remember first of all is that the gravitational potential energy, or EP, is equal to mass times gravitational field strength times height, or M times G times H. Okay, so we need to know a couple of things first of all. First thing we need to know is our mass. Now my mass is roughly 80 kilograms. We want our mass in kilograms. So I'm going to use my mass as 80 kilograms. If you don't know your mass, use some scales, working out. If you don't have any scales, just do it roughly. It doesn't really matter. Okay. The next thing we need to know is the strength of the gravitational field strength here on Earth, which is always the same. It's always 9.8. So the value of gravitational field strength on Earth is 9.8. The last thing we need to know is the height that we're going to be above ground, because you get gravitational potential energy stored in you when you're raised above ground. Okay? So that's why I've got my step ladder, and you can use stairs or a box or anything, like I say, that's safe to climb up on. Now I'm going to do two. So I'm going to use this second step and this third step. So I need to know the height that the second step is above the ground, and I need to know that the height that the third step is above the ground. And I need to know those heights in meters, not centimeters or millimeters, in meters. Okay, so the first step is 36 centimeters, which is 0.36 meters above the ground. So when I climb up to this step here, because I'm now raised above the ground, I now have a store of gravitational potential energy. Okay, so to calculate this first one, which is step number 2, I do my mass, which is 80, times the gravitational field strength on Earth, which is 9.8, times the height that I was above the ground in meters, which is 0.36, times them all together, and I had a gravitational potential energy stored in me of 282.24 joules. Remember, our units for energy is joules. The step 3, this one up here, is higher up. So I obviously have a greater store of energy when I go further above the ground. So to do that one was 59 centimeters, or 0.59 meters. So I do 80, my mass, times by 9.8, the gravitational field strength, times by 0.59, the height I was above ground in meters, times them all together, and I get a gravitational potential energy of 784.59 joules. Okay, so the last thing, so I've obviously, as you can see, by going further up, going higher, I have a greater gravitational potential energy store. Okay, now the final thing which you can just look at is that you should know that energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred from one store to another store. Now gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy, which is the energy of moving objects, are linked. Okay, so as I am stood on this top step, or this third step, sorry, I've just worked out that I've got 784 joules of energy stored by being raised above the ground. Currently I have 0 joules of kinetic energy because I'm not moving, other than my arms. I'm not moving because I've got no kinetic energy. Okay, now if I was to jump off this ladder safely, bend at the knees, as I fell towards the earth and landed, I lost gravitational potential energy because I'm no longer above the ground, but I gained kinetic energy because I was moving. Now the maximum kinetic energy I had, the maximum movement energy I had, is equal to the maximum gravitational potential energy. So at my fastest point, I had 784.59 joules of kinetic energy. Okay, so one of your challenges today, guys, is to try and calculate your own gravitational potential energy and your own kinetic energy at home using step ladder, stairs, box, whatever it is safe to climb up on. Please ask people at home to make sure that you are safe when you're doing this. I don't want you climbing up on top of stuff. Okay. send me through what your results are, guys. Thanks.